Atha Saptamodhyayah. So, in the 7th chapter, as we are going through the Jnanam and Vijnanam, which we were saying that, Vijnanaha is the Vishesha Jnanam, which is the Paramatma Swarupam or Parabrahmam, Atma Swarupam, that Parabrahman, Brahman. And Jnanam is the Samanya Jnanam, or the Jnanam that is can be realized, relatively cognized, and be objectified, which we have seen through seeing through several examples. And while starting those examples, Bhagavan said this Jnanam and Vijnanam has been intertwined, because he said all that Jnanam in this chapter is called Apara Prakriti. Apara Prakriti. And he said that Vijnanam is the Para Prakriti, or Utkrishtam, or superior form of knowledge, because that is the foundation. And to say the relation between these two, because then we have to now intertwine. So he intertwined them as a mala. So in the 7th shloka, he said, Sarvamidam Mayi Sutre Manigana Iva Protham. That all these ones, Sarvam, when it said both Jnanam and Vijnanam. Both Jnanam and Vijnanam, or this knowledge of this Apara and Para Prakriti, because the Para and Apara Prakriti are intertwined like that. And in that, the Sutre means what? The thread. And that Sutra is the thread by which all the other ones are the Manigana. Manigana means the gems, anything that is being intertwined. And how are they supported? By the thread. So the thread is the Vijnanam, or Para Prakriti, or the foundation knowledge. And the Manigana is every beats that we can cognize. We can't, but you should imagine as if we can't see the thread. It is like an invisible thread, because it cannot be cognized, it can't be objectified. Yeah. So to give that into more, so in that, what we have to see is two things. One is called the Sutra. The Sutra, we take it as Sutratma. Sutratma, that is Atma itself is a Sutra. And everything is what we call Protha. Why we call Protha? Because Manigana is the Manigani. Manigana is a Strilinga. So we said Protha, or it can be Protam or Protaha, whatever it is. Protha means that which has been intertwined. That's it. Very easy. And so when we saw this Rasa, Apsu and all, I gave you one like that. So in this, what we said is Apsu is the up becomes Apsu. Up means the water is the Manigana. In the Rasa is like the thread. Rasa is the thread, is that it is what we call Sutratma. So to get continuing from there, what is going from verse number 8 is cross into a subtler form, or subtler form and subtler form. And so we go into the verse number 9. Punyo gandhav prithvyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Once more. Punyo gandhav prithvyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. So he says Prithivyam. Prithivyam means in this Prithvi, or in this earth. The earth is by natural pure. It is pure in its intrinsic nature. So he says Prithivyam cha, this smell is a Punya Gandhaha. Punya Gandhaha. Meaning to say the smell, whatever we get the smell in this world, everything comes from the earth. And by nature of that, so that's what you see it in the flower. But everything, anything artificial, anything that you may get in this world, smell only comes from the earth, which there was also a Tamil movie you would have seen called Manvasanai. But and so we can go a lot, like in the olden days, people used to see what is underneath the earth by even smelling it. They said there was some technology which was available in India. Now that is lost. Now, what's happening is this Gandha, it is, if at all you get, why Bhagavan put Punya Gandha? And he gave a adjective, right? Punya, because it, by its nature, it is Punyaha, because the earth by itself is a very pure. So the smell by nature, what you get from earth is always pure. But because of the impurities that is admixed on this earth, the smell that becomes polluted. That is what, if at all you get any, not a smell that is bearable. So the world, what you get is a mixture of good and bad odor. But originally from the earth, whatever smell you get is Punya Gandha, or it's a pure one. So the Gandha is what? In the Gandha is what in this Prithvi? So Prithivyam Punya Gandha. So Gandha is what there? Sutratma. So the essence in all the sand is that Gandha, the smell is the Sutratma. But what is the Prota? Prithvi is the Prota. You understand? Don't think the other way around. So Prithvi is the Prota. And Gandha is the, like how in Rasa Apsu. Apsu was what? Apsu was Prota. But Rasa is the Sutratma. Intrinsic quality. Intrinsic quality, which is by nature in any object that is created, is the Sutratma, or that Parabrahman. So Gandha is truly anything in this world, Gandha, that one is really the Brahman. But Prithvi is just a vehicle through which it has come. So that is why it is a Sutratma. See, I'm just going a little bit detailed so that we get it in connection between all the Jnanam. So it's an analytical study, as I was again and again saying, because it makes more your brain to work and cognize these things, you know. So we don't confuse like, oh, because Sin Prithvi is, and Prithvi is the base. No. The Gandha is the base. Similarly, afterwards I'll put a complete matrix and send it to you. So it's good revision again. Similarly, Vibhavasau. So everything that is in Saptami Vibhakti here, just as people who know Sanskrit, that is a Prota. So Vibhavasau means that is Vasu itself means it is a Vibhavasu, becomes something Vibhavasau. Vasu means itself, it's a Agni. Vasunam Pavakas Chasmi. It's in chapter number 10. So Vibhavasu means Agni. That's just Agni. Anything that in this world can effulge with a heat and a light. That is Vibhavasu. In that Vibhavasu, what do you get? That nature, that brilliance by which there is an effect of light illumination. There is an effect of illumination. That is what Bhagavan says is me, Asmi. So in fire, he says, I am like the brilliance, Tejaha. So in this, then Tejaha is the, what is that? Sutratma. Vibhavasu is the Prota. So then similarly, Sarva Bhuteshu, that is easy. So Devinaji, Sarva Bhuteshu Jivanam, in this, what is the Prota and Sutratma? Just tell me, just try it. See, there are two objects here. One is Sarva Bhuta, all objects in this world, and Jiva is a life. So which one you think is a Prota and Sutratma? Just a guess, don't worry about it. You'll get $1 million anyway.
Sir,
See,
the life in all the beings, you know?
yes. So life is what?
Life is the Sutratma.
Very good. 100%.
Gee,
You won 2
that's
million
the
now.
string. And the austerity, the
Sarvabhutaha. The
Sarv,
Sarvabhuta is the
Sarvabhuta is the
prota, like the gems, the Rasamani. They are like the gems. That is
Jivanam
prota.
Sarvabhuteshu.
That's the prota. So Sarvabhutaha is the prota. Jivanam is the Sutratma, because Jiva is
Sutratma.
like the
Ji.
life, which is like a thread going through, because in all our
All beings.
yes, on all beings. So the all beings are the prota, and the life is the Sutratma.
Ji.
Samjha?
Ji,
So
bilkul, bilkul.
yeah, so
I was
even from
actually just reflecting only, sorry, Babu, that the fragrance is the
sorry,
Sutratma. The fragrance jo wo
Haji,
hai, Gandh is the Sutratma.
correct.
The Tejas is the Sutratma. Usi
Barabar,
tarah, the life is the Sutatma.
correct,
Jivanam is the Sutatma.
correct.
Ji.
Yeah, Jivanam says Jiva is a Sutratma. Very good. Jivanam is the
Ji.
Sutratma.
Hanji.
So you see, what Bhagavan is trying to say is also, these gives you, these example give you a very good example for meditation.
Ji.
When we want to shed all our personal identity in these things, what happens is, I am part of the Sarva Bhuta. In this Sarva Bhuta, this life by which there is no name. For a life, there is no name, there is no gender, there is no identity. That Jiva is me, by which I'm existing. I'm able to cognize that I'm alive, right? All of
Ji.
us know. So in a simple life, in a simple example like this, when we think about these things, these are very good examples for us to do the meditation from external into internal, from the Akanda Vritti into the Atma Vritti. So these are all very good example to do that. And at
Babu,
last,
could
Haji?
I ask you something?
Yeah.
So this will like take us, like, if just to reinstate that the statement by Swami Vivekananda, that it is actually manifestation of the divinity that exists within us.
Yes.
That is the Sutatma in all of
Correct.
us.
Correct.
So
100% correct.
and though ek tarah se, whether it's meditation, whether it is like developing ye jo divya qualities, it actually manifests the divinity that is already within us.
That is correct. Exactly right. 100%. That's right. So these ones more
I was
gives you the
trying to reflect.
concrete. Yes. So these example from these shlokas makes those essence what you learned from others one more concrete, and says, yes, now I got a pramanam from Gita. So that is like a grip, so that is what this Gita study helps you get from the talks that you've heard from so many places. And the other one Bhagavan gives you is the tapaschasmi tapasvishu, that there are so many tapasvis, means people who do all the austerity. In those people who do the austerity or do the tapas, because tapas means, I told you, tapaha means it is something that is burning. Burning means what? That is something that you are enduring, that tapas itself means there is some difficulty, but you are putting up with the difficulty, okay, for not subjecting yourself into a torture. Now, Bhagavan doesn't want you to do a self-torture and self thing to prove your faith or prove your knowledge. But what is, in a way, the people do that self, what can I say, control, is to more and more exercise that. It is like a abhyasa. Abhyasa kaunteya vairagya grikhyate. To get that vairagya, use this abhyasa. To get that vairagya. And because body can be, everything can be conditioned. And the way that abhyasa you do in 20 years, you don't do it in 60 years, you don't do it in 40 years. But in this age, whatever we do, tapas is all mostly in mental. In our age, most of us here. So Because in our age, we are more tested internally. So much our kith and kin, they pass away, our close relative pass away, or something happens to our children, or something we see. And that is where our tapas comes. More than in the external tapas. It's a more of internal tapas. In all that thing, we come and say, look, this is something that I'm bearing. This is not me I'm bearing. Krishna, this is what you want me to kind of, I didn't plan this, but we all thought all good for our everybody, anything, you know, but it is happening. And I take it as Krishna, your karyam in this happening. And I will not let this mental turmoil anywhere be subjecting my disturbance, because the internal disturbance are stronger than the external disturbance. And this time our tapas. So I'm just giving some example, that's all. So this tapas, what we do is also that Brahman. And this is all also that Abhyasa and Vairagya, by which, and Bhagavan says that tapaha, by which you are able to do, that is Atma. So every time we successfully do that, Atma Jnanam become Urjitam. Meaning to say, become Dridam, becomes firm. Aha, I've understood today. This did not shake me. That means the study is working. Or that my Brahma Jnana, my Vivekaha is working. I'm glad. I'm not getting intertwined into this. That's what Bhagavan is going to say in subsequent shlokas. That all these are Maya is going to give today. That's what we will finish today. Okay. Then going further, Bijam. I'm just only telling you how these things inculcate, just not only from a academic study to know the knowledge, but how we can apply. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. Once more. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. So, how do these entities come about? I understand, Krishna, that there is a Sutratma and there is a Rasa Mani, but they are always in the constant state of modification. There is some changes happening. So how does the changes happen within the changeless object? So by this time you would have understood. The Sutratma is changeless. Prota is constantly changing. So Bhagavan says, yes, in this changing world of this, all this Rasamani, Sarva Bhutaha, he says, hey Partha, Sarva Bhutanam, of all these beings, both inert and living, both inert and living, of all these ones in this world, Sarva Bhutanam, Sarva Bhutanam, Vidhi Mam Sanatanam Bijam. You should know Sarvabhutanam in of all these beings, Shashta Bhakti means of all these beings in this world, with thee, thou shalt know that I am with thee. Know what? Know me, Bhagavan Vasudeva, as a Sanatanam Bijam, as the seed. Seed in what kind of a seed? He is a constantly evolving seed. That tree that Bhagavan will say in another chapter, that seed is a Sanatanam Seedam. Meaning to say, it's a constantly evolving seed. Eternal seed. So, Bhagavan, so many pralaya happens. In fact, in chapter number 14, Bhagavan will say, Mamayo nirmahat brahma tasmin garbham dadamyaham sambhava sarva partana. That also he will say. Tasmin garbham dadamyaham sarvayo nishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti yaha tasam brahmamahat yonihi agam bijam pratah pita. So, Bhagavan is like the mother and father, because he's a Sarva Yoni as well. He is the mother, he is the Jagan Mata and Jagat Pita. That is what Bhagavan is trying to say. If at all there is one great mother and father, he says that I am that great mother, I am that great father. By which the whole evolution is constantly happening. And the protas are changing. And what you need to understand is that through that mother and father, who is also within that one, that Sanatanam, that he is that Vasudeva, who is the Sutratma. Bhagavan is a Sutratma. So how can I be any different? I cannot be any different. So then Bhagavan, he says, so now as you know, so that is why when these things itself we should see how our Sanatanam, this word Sanatanam means it comes, Sadatanam becomes Sanatanam. Sada means ever. That becomes Sanatanam. Da becomes Na, and then becomes Sanatanam. And that is how the word Sanatanam itself comes. Sadatana. The everness, if you just put it in a word called English, that everness seed, eternity is the Bhagavan himself. And then Bhagavan says, Aham, now having you known like this, Aham, Buddhimatam, in the wisdom that you, thus, whatever, even this knowledge what you're gaining, Buddhimatam, Buddhim asmi. Okay, Vidhi. So even in this knowledge, as you gain this knowledge and in the wisdom that you are able to discriminate this Prota and Sutratma, and then cognize the changeless, even in that recognize that the knower is also that Brahman, Atman. So the knower is also the Atman. There is nothing known beyond the knower. That's why Bhagavan says, Buddhimatam Buddhimasmi. The knower is also me. Of all the knowers, then the knowledge itself is mine. So that is why we say the Bhagavan is the ultimate Atma Jnanam, Atmaiva Bhavati. Asmi. And by this way, when you know, what happens is, he says, Tejasvinam, meaning to say that resolute passive by which that knowledge resplends even outside. Tejas is just nothing but the internal knowledge that reflects outside. So that's why when we see a great Swamiji, oh, kya Tejas Swamiji ka, kya Tejas Bhagavan ka, when we say, because Tejas is something what we call Ojas as well, meaning to say that is something that you see that resplendent in great Mahan, that reflection of that particular ultimate knowledge in them. That Tejasvinam, Tejaha Ahamasmi. Bhagavan, Tejasvinam, Tejaha Ahamasmi. That Teja, that's so Tejaha is the Sutratma. Tejasvi is just the Prota. Okay, so having now known everything, Bhagavan now, he says, then what about the so we have done very subtle, you see how we came from gross to subtle to buddhi and then tejas. Then what about the, okay, this is all about Tejasvi, Tapasvi, they are all the ones that say, what about the common mortals like me? Because I'm also getting torn into the samsaram, where, you know, I'm also having some kind of desire. So how am I to kind of correlate you, Bhagavan, in this aspect of mine, where I have not become a Tejasvi, where I'm not becoming that big Buddhiman? So he says, you know what, even in your relative being, hey Bharata Rishabha, Aham Kamaraga Vivarjitam. Hey Bharata Rishabha, Aham Kamaraga Vivarjitam Bhalavatam Bhalam Asmi. Meaning to say, you know, the strength. So here what we are, Bhagavan puts a precondition to that strength. That whatever strength even today you have to cognize and to understand, I am the strength. But when he is putting the strength, he says that strength, he puts that strength is devoid of kama and raga. And we all have it at some time or other. That is what he says. What is kama and raga? So Shankara goes little bit more into explaining this, because vivarjita means devoid of kama and raga. That strength what you get, that atma strength, is that I am that strength even now when you are trying to know this. So kama is what Shankara says is just nothing but a mental modification or a particular desire to acquire something that you do not have. Kama is always is a इच्छा जो मिलने का आपके पास अभी नहीं है, लेकिन आप चाहते हो. That is kama, not anything else. So, but what you do not have, but you wish to have, to possess it or to attain it, or for somebody, or to you or to others, or your kith and kin, whatever it is, or sometimes, and that is what is kama. And raga is having obtained it, now you have tasted it, now you don't want to let it go. So you have something that you never had in life before, and you got it. Once you got it, we don't want to let it go. And that is raga. That attachment to something that we have got, but we can't let it off. That is raga. And when we get rid of this, at a time, the strength that we get without these two, that strength is the Bhagavan, he says. Balam kamaraga vivarjitam. So this is the sattvic explicit nature that we all get it. That's what Bhagavan will give in the next few shlokas. We will be able to recognize this in our daily walks of life. Daily, at some time. At that time we say, aha, Bhagavan, you are now shining in me as this particular sattvic one. And I want to grab that. That itself is a kind of a jnana bhakti. And then Bhagavan, he says, hey Bharatarshava, yes, I understand that kama is also one of the 4 purushartha. But so he says, dharma, so Bhagavan, he says, dharma aviruddha. Dharma viruddha means from dharma, that which is dharma viruddha, bhuteshu, kamaha also I am the one. Because Bhagavan understands. Otherwise, the whole procreation and the generation will not go. So, for the sake of the dharma, that icha that it is giving to you, which is coming to you for the sake of dharma, in the bhuta, that kama, I am the one. Because without the complete icha of not having anything, Bhagavan knows the whole creation will come to a stop. So he says, that dharma, kama what you have, that dharma, that karma, kama, in case you think about it, it is, that means dharma purvakam. Dharma acharanena जो kama है, वो मैं हूं. उसमें कुछ गलती नहीं है बोलते भगवान. Dharma viruddha, which is not, so whatever it is, the moral, legal obligations by which you want it because it is your duty, that one, I am the one. Do not worry. Because without 100% karma, divide of, no, there is no existence. Why do you create them? So Bhagavan, that is why he puts a postulates, though he puts a statement, he postulates a condition for that. See, this is the cleverness, or cleverness means intrinsic, a very intrigue, nuance of Krishna's teaching. You must be able to get it. When certain things come, अरे तुम ऐसा बोलते हो कृष्णा और कैसा तुम तो जीव तो नहीं है, भगवान बोला है धर्मा विरुद्ध काम भूतेषु काम अस्मि. There's nothing wrong, Bhagavan said, but that is by the moral duty that it is bound. That is why we all say, the first child we have, we say it's a dharma or patni itself, that's why it's called dharma patni. It's a dharma purusha, dharma patni. Same thing, your the first son, the son is also called Dharmaputra, Dharmapatni, Dharma daughter, everything. So that is our dharma. So Bhagavan says that dharma, I am the kama in that dharma, which is gone by the moral and legal manner. So Bhagavan, so it is dharma aviruddha, not dharma viruddha. Dharma aviruddha becomes dharma viruddha. And Shankara says deha dharana matrartyartha, meaning to say even thirst, hunger, we get it. That is dharma. That's the dharma of that body. And what happens when I get that thing? Yeah, I have to have a bit of a water. Eat water. What when the hunger comes to quench, that you cannot challenge. So Bhagavan says, don't challenge it. Thirst and hunger is a dharma. But to the extent that it has to be quenched. What about it? I don't want to go detail. You all know it. So hunger and thirst is also Bhagavan's induced dharma kama in a way. And that is also, so when we get the next time a thirst and hunger, we say, it's Bhagavan's call. It's not my body's call. It's Bhagavan's call. Bhagavan, main aapko deta hu. So we say Krishnarpanam. When we say Krishnarpanam, because we know that hunger is also Krishna. So we know that thirst is also Krishna. So I'm giving it for Krishna. Jitna Krishna chahiye, utna janega. Uske baad kahe to aapke liye khana hoga. वो तो अधर्म होगा फिर. Okay, you can attach all the extra things, no problem. And then Bhagavan says, ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha rajasastamasaschaye mattaye vetitan vidhi nattvaham teshu te mayi. Once more, ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha rajasastamasaschaye mattaye vetitan vidhi nattvaham teshu te mayi. So Bhagavan slowly now takes us into, because our vicharam goes. So Bhagavan, you have given me all these, and now you are saying you are also the ones in thirst and hunger. And so now I have to draw a balance. So so again, it's a bit of a confusion, meaning to say, I want to understand more. Why you have created this one and then given me these kind of different what do you say, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is a purushartham. And in all these things, the creation have to function, and I have a duty to perform. So how do I handle this? How do I handle this kind of relative nature, the relativity into which I'm bound? So I can morally do this one and get out of it and not get attached. So Bhagavan said, Arjuna. So he comes to Baba. Baba means, okay, I'll go. Yea. When he says yea, all these kama and all these things, the aforesaid, prota. In all these prota that we are experiencing through, Sutratma we are not able to experience because we will not, because Sutratma is Atma. But this prota is where we are also intertwined. So the intertwining nature we all know. So he says, ye, what you have been intertwined, Arjuna, ye, cha, eva, ye, and indeed, satvikaha. So now Bhagavan is bringing this slowly the guna. Though he did very loosely, he said in 4 and 3, guna, gunesh, vartanchi. Now he is going a little bit more. This is the first time he is introducing the 3 guna from this chapter. Because he has to bring Maya. Then you can understand, because Bhagavan, you are now trying to teach us the Tat Padartham, Ishvara Padartham. To know Ishvara, I know him through his Maya. So Bhagavan, he says, Arjuna, however this world has been intertwined, eva, they are Satvika, he is going to say they are of 3 different types. One is, he says, Satvika. They are mode of, one is he's going to divide this prota. Again, I'm using prota because you can use it as jnanam, but I'm putting more a prota because we know that's where we are intertwined. So this intertwining nature is of 3 different types. One is satvik, rajasic, and tamasic. That Bhagavan is slowly introducing. So the first type he's saying is a Satvika Bhava. So in the Satvika is, what is Satvik in this? Where it is of the nature of your true dharma. In Satvik, always the Satvika nature is always for the evolution bound in its intrinsic synchronous nature, very harmonious, which helps you to engage and get out of it. So any engagement done with the sattvic quality, at the moment I will tell you this much, but we'll go more in the other chapters, he will give you more. The sattvic nature, it could be food, it could be the water, it could be anything that we have. In all these things, even the knowledge what we get, and like the astikyam, the bhakti, the attachment we even get to God is also sattvic. Because these attachments help you to get detached. Because we are of the nature that we are a social animal. We need something to hold on. Because you're prota. So that Bhagavan, he says, that's attachment in this world that gets you to release out of that attachment. That is one type, is called Satvika. Satvika Bhava. Now, I will explain this Bhava as in this. One is a Satvika Bhavaha. Bhavaha means, normally Bhava means we say some expression, right? Expression. When you say, oh, look at the Bhava in his face, it's an expression in nature, right? But here, Bhava should be taken as Swabhava. Meaning to say, it is reflected in every individual, every even entity, Prithvi, water, and everywhere, due to the, or in our own relative, if we take it off, it is reflected due to the actions that we have performed. That is called Swabhava. By the more and more we engage in Sattvika activity, your Bhava becomes Sattvika Bhava. The more and more you engage in Rajasic action, your Bhava becomes Rajasa Bhava. The more and more tamasic activities we engage in, our bhava becomes tamasa bhava. And the bhava with which you that is abhyasa and vairagya. The more of abhyasa in that, when abhyasa means it is not really an abhyasa. By you getting engaged in that, you become more and more into the rajasic kama or tamasic kama or a sattvic kama. Everything. So Bhagavan, what he says is, one is a Satvika Bhava, which is very helpful in that one, which is always gives you as a vehicle to get out of this. And then second one he gives you is the Cha, Yecha, Rajasa Bhavaha. Another type. The Rajasa Bhava is the one which promotes more of Kama. Meaning to say, somehow I need this. The Trishna, that which it wants more than, when that limit exceeds, to say, for example, we want to quest with her, simply I'm just giving an example. We want to have your quest of hunger with something that will be good for the hunger. But on top of it, we want, when we say, I want a Raja Bhog, then it is, we know that Bhakshanam, that one is called a Rajasa Trishna. जब भूख लगता है, भोग जितना उतने के लिए करेगा वो सात्विक भोग. When you want to go Raj Bhog, then we know it's a Rajasa Guna, which is getting you to get to that particular mode. I want everything, palak pata, chaat, samosa, then everything, then chana. I want to go everything, then we go into a bit of a Rajasic mode. So that is called Rajasa Bhava. And that is the one that is going to get you more into Trishna. That is one that is going to pull you, very difficult to pull out of it, Rajasa. And the third one, then Tamasa. The next one he says is Tamasa, the third one. Tamasa is the one where it is basically puts you into a very dull mode, completely a delusion. Tamasa board is something that, completely depression. You don't want to do anything. It's more of a escapism. See, even a Rajasic fellow, in a way, once he indulge, he will get burnt, right? Then he will know, oh God, it has really burnt me. I ate too much today. I'm not able to sleep. Now tomorrow I won't eat that much, or you have indulged because there is going to be reaction. Then you go, oh God, it is too hot. Next time I won't have it. But a guy who is tamasic are mostly the escapists who neither want to act nor want to react. They're completely escapist, and that is why they go into these drugs and everything other one who completely want to negate and run away from the life. That is tamasa. So that is the most lowest of all the one, tamasa bhava. So he has categorized everything in chapter 7 for these 3 guna itself. There's one chapter coming later. But at the moment, I'm just giving you one particular gist for that. So you understand our swabhava or of these 3 nature. So Bhagavan says tamasascha bhavaha. All these are swabhava really. And swabhava comes from the sarva karma vashat. That's very, very important. Sarva karma vashat jayante. They manifest like that. They are all but a manifested quality. We should not take it as is a permanent. No, I can win my tamasic by rajasic with sattvic. You can win the tamasic with rajasic guna. You can win the rajasic guna with sattvic guna. So then once he says bhavaha, and having said that, Bhagavan says tan means all these 3 bhavas. All of the above 3 bhava are the guna, the characteristics by which these are reflected. Tana, even that he says, Tana, mattaha eva veti. Mattaha eva iti vidhi. Meaning to say, that guna, even that is also me. Even tamasa guna is me, Bhagavan says, in a way. Okay, even the tamasa guna, in fact, Arjuna, tan eva iti, tan mattaha, it is also come from me. Eva iti vidhi. And then he puts another very important one here, vidhi, and te mayi. Te mayi, this is very important here. Te mayi, and 11, tu, 17, tu aham teshu na. This is the most important thing that it is to understand, especially for Devi now, because you're learning this for first time. What he says, very important, all these above gunas are all me, he said, right? Are all me, he said. But he says one more, te mai, they are all in me, but I am not in them. You understand? Because Maya is in me. If I put it like you will understand. Maya is in me, I am not in Maya. Because Maya is, so when Bhagavan said te means what? All the Satvika, Rajasa, Tamasa, Guna put together is Maya really. That Maya is in me when Bhagavan says Mayi Ishvara, Vasudeva, Narayana. He says they are in me because I'm having the control. I am the creator. So obviously they are in me. But I am not in them. Because that is how the sutra is only doing that and letting the people doing their the karma vashat. Otherwise, we will all be robots. That action is also him. Then we would say, Krishna, you did the papa. That's what he said before. But what Bhagavan wants to say is, Bhagavan, when he says, I am not in them, then he comes into the relative mode. I am not, when he says that, he's basically saying is, Maya is in my control. I am not in the control of Maya. That's what when he says, Teshu, te, aham te, aham, tu, aham te, aham te mayi aham teshu na. Okay, you understand? Do not exactly see as one in this, but this not in the other. If you see like all this Prithvyam, Gandhaha, everything, you'll get confused. Only take it in the form of saying that this is because Maya is in Bhagavan's control. Right? But Bhagavan is not in the control of Maya. That is what Bhagavan is saying. Like in chapter 4 also he said, Adhishtabhya Sambhavami UK. That Bhagavan can do. Yeah. Okay. So then again he goes more into this Maya. Tribir Gunamayair Bhavaihi Ye Visarvamidam Jagat Ohitam Nabijanati Ma Mebhya Paramabhyayam. Once more. Tribir Gunamayair Bhavaihi Ye Visarvamidam Jagat Ohitam Nabijanati Ma Mebhya Paramabhyayam. Bhagavan says, Ye bihi. So, how it is in such a mode that you are in, that Maya is in you, but you are not in Maya. How come we are not able to realize this? Why I'm not able to know this? How we cannot cognize? He says, look, you can know, but the problem is, he says, Ye bihi means Tritiya Bhakti. That is, by these, Ye bihi, Tribihi. By these three, what by these three what? Gunamayahi. By these three gunas. So the three gunas is the instrument. Whenever we say buy something, that is the instrument, right? I cut the tree with the axe, means what? The axe is the instrument. I cook this with my vessel, means what? That is the instrument. With the stove. So when they say Tribi Gunamai, what I'm saying, that is the instrument. This Tribi Gunamayahi, by that instrument of this Satvik Rajas Tamas, Bhavaihi, instrument, what it is says, Bhavaihi, Gunamayahi, Bhavaihi, by how they have been reflected, Idam Sarvam Jagat. Idam Sarvam Jagat Mohitam. Okay, so Mohitam 8. So he says, why I am not able to understand it? Because, Arjuna, you remaining in this three guna, that is what is also capturing you down. You are not able to understand it. Because it is like this. You are in this world of turbulent nature in which you are so caught, you do not know what is really grasping you. But I'm giving you this knowledge today. That's what Bhagavan is saying. But he says, look, this knowledge you are not able to get it because of so many janmas that you have been intertwined in the Satvika, Rajasic, Tamasic gunas. Gibi Tribhi Gunamahi Bhavaihi Sarvamida Jagat Ohitam. They have got diluted. So Maya is of the nature to delude you. Maya is the nature of delusion. Of these three together. Satvik is also in a way Maya. And that is also of the nature of delusion. And the end of the day, so what Bhagavan wants you to is use that sattvic instrument and get out of that as well. Okay. So Mohitam, Mohitam means having thus, they have been shrouded like that. Raga Dvesha Prakarehi, because we got the Icha, Dvesha and everything. Because we like Sattvic, we don't like Rajasic. Yes, that we cannot avoid this. Because of this nature of like and dislike by which we are Mohitam. Yebhyaha means by completely away from these three gunas. Yebhyaha. Yebhyaha param abhyayam. Param abhyayam. What is that? Mam. Bhagavan. Na abhijanati. because we are so deluded, the param abhyayebhyaha param abhyayam. Param means he is that para prakriti. Because we are so deluded in this apara prakriti, in this jnanam, that vijnanam, which is the para prakriti, which is the avyayam, which is immutable, which is indestructible, which is the everlasting, infinite, that consciousness, avyayam, param avyayam, mam, that Bhagavan. Here when he says mam, Bhagavan in this chapter will keep on changing his context. In this, when he says mam, he is the absolute constant Brahman, para Brahman, because he has put the adjective param avyayam. In this one, when he said he is the Bhagavan as the Ishvara, who is the creator. Now when he has completely pulled the Maya into him, that's why he says David Mohitam, but he is not, from his context, he is the Parabrahman, which is the absolute context. Just slight difference, that's all. But when you understand, you will be able to do. Here when he said Mam, Mai, everything, he gives it from a Ishvara. Krishna, Rama, whatever Bhagavan, Ambal, Devi, whatever you take it there. Who has done the creation? Because you go in every Purana, that particular Bhagavan creates a creation. So that Rupa of the Bhagavan or Devi is fine. But here when he comes, Mam, it is an absolute Brahman. Because he has put that, how do you know? Because he has put a quality Param Avyayam. Immutable. Param Avyayam. Mam na abhijanati. Because they are not able to completely understand that immutable Bhagavan who is above that Maya. And for that is that particular realization that how you get out of this Maya. So now we have a question. Yes, Krishna, now we are saying this Maya is so deluded that we are all in the Sattvic Rajasic Guna. That's fine. And you also gave us a knowledge that Sattvika is the most absolute good Guna. And that is with the Dharma. Now, how do we get out of this? Because you said, because we are mohitam, deluded, I'm not able to know you, who is the absolute Param Abhyayam, that one. How will I know? Next chapter, next class, Bhagavan says, come, I will teach you. Until then, keep coming every class, you will know it continuously. That's Bhagavan say that. And that from Sri Krishna's one, I will finish today. And next class, he will talk more about his Maya. And that, in fact, this is a very famous one for our Chandrasekhar Bhaiya too. And we'll cover that in the next class from the next shloka, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi. And then he will say, yes, it is possible to transcend this Maya. Yes, it is absolutely humanly possible to transcend Maya and no be. And then he says that I give you easy transcript. And that's what the next class will be very easy. The 14, 15, 16, Bhagavan will again give you the procedure by which you can slowly, Mayam Taranti means to transcend this Maya and know Bhagavan as we have to know. Okay, with that I will finish today's class. Any doubts so far? Devina ji?
No, Babu, I was just smiling because growing up, I would like get all this knowledge from my mom, and she would like, "ये भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए." So she would always say, "I am in them, but they are not in me." So she would tell me not to get आसक्ति नहीं होनी चाहिए. ये भी आसक्ति है. Just let go. Well, then we would be reflecting on Gurudev's lectures, and she would say, "कि Maya, मैं I am in you, but I am in them, but they are not in me." Just
Correct.
use that mantra to detach yourself
Very good, very good, very
from.
good.
So
Thank you,
that is
Ji.
what I was. Thank you so much, Babu. It just
Thank you, Ji.
so much recollection today. And
Thank
the
you very much.
typical of I like to share that in Punjabi, चाहे कोई गुस्सा हो, चाहे कोई गाली दे, चाहे कोई प्यार करे, and then they said, आपने ऐसा क्यों किया? बोलते अरे गुस्सा होना भी भगवान की प्रकृति है. See, Punjabis justify everything.
That's
They
good. No,
would
that's good.
they would
Great
want
knowledge
to
come.
improve, but they
अच्छा
say वो
अच्छा
भी प्रकृति है भगवान की, क्या हुआ?
अच्छा अच्छा देखो वो एल्डर्स का कि क्या आसानी से ये गीता नॉलेज the whole tatwa they easily were teaching us through everyday life at home that is being lost these days. That's a great
जी
thing.
जी बिल्कुल। My brother, whenever we used to argue or fights, and अच्छा ये भी भगवान की प्रकृति है, so I'm also okay. She's also okay. Then my mother would say, but we have to rise above that. जैसे आपने
See,
कहा ना, unopposed to dharma. We have to do things. ठीक है, दोनों प्रकृति है भगवान की, but we have to get to the upper प्रकृति.
correct. Shama, Dhamma,
है ना?
all this, all this Shama, Dhamma and everything, parents easily inculcated into us at home and at these kind of things. We are so
जी, जी.
grateful to them, Yeah.
सच में बाबू.
Okay.
And we are so grateful to you.
No, no, no,
You're
please.
reinforcing all these things.
No, no,
It's so
no,
nice to
Gita is
actually,
so,
everything is coming back.
oh, that's very good. I'm very glad. Thank you, Ji. Okay.
Thank you, Babu. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ji. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji. Thank you. Om Tat Sat
Babu,
Iti Shri. Ji?
sorry, Babuji, do you have, sorry, already we
बोले
extended the
कोई बात
class.
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं.
Just,
हाँ.
it's not, it's directly related to the Gita. You know, the Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kama Rupini. See, the Kama Rupini, the Kamam is not to be misunderstood. That's creating the desire for knowledge. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct? That's what we should understand.
Yeah.
I think, Maitli, I'm just trying to clarify. So that is what my understanding is. So that is what the Kamam also there, you mentioned. Yes, so that came to my life.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
It is jnanam. See, if you have that Kamam, the right desire, dharma viruddha means not anything against dharma. So that is natural to have. But you said one more thing, attachment to detachment.
Yes.
Right? I like this word, the attachment, detachment, or in other words called detached attachment. So whatever you get attached, what you get attached in the younger days, as even Devina was saying, see, nowadays it's not at all attraction. See, younger days we go to beach or movies and things like that, doesn't attract. I mean, those are the days you have to give it up. So attachment can come and it can go also. That's like a raga dvesha. I mean, we have and abhyasa vairagya. The vairagya will come afterwards.
See, that is why attachment towards bhakti, devotion, that our say, for example, all the rituals, especially when you do it with the proper, even you can say attachment in a way, but then because you'll say, oh God, I have to do it, I have to do it. But what happens is it slowly brings you the detachment out of unwanted things. See, by getting attached to good dharma, from adharma you get detached. And then that is what then afterwards Bhagavan says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Then even from the dharma, Bhagavan will say one day, look, this is enough now. You have now enough of all these things. But now you can even give up that ritual. That stage when it has to come, Bhagavan will tell. But then without going into the stages of this normal rituals of bhakti, the whatever we have to do, the everydays, because we are all indebted back to our all these ones we said that Daivaruni, all those things as we do daily, then only it will release you. So that is why that is also important. Dharma is very important to also get out of adharma and then for moksha. That's what Bhagavan will say the next tomorrow's class, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Purushartham, how to handle it, he'll tell you in the next class.
So, Babu, like जैसे सद्गुण की आसक्ति, too much attachment, कि you're doing the karma, आप अपने अच्छे उससे भाव से कर रहे हो, but sometimes you get told इतनी भी आसक्ति नहीं होनी चाहिए. Like again talking about, but I feel सद्गुण की आसक्ति कैसे हो सकती है? That is like you're instinctively doing what's right, and it's not even opposed to dharma.
Yeah. See, the thing is that it is only the guru. At some time he will say, look, now you can even drop your normal duties. Nobody can drop their duties away, dharma duties, unless it is advised by the guru. That's the guru who says at the end, who says, okay, now it is enough for you to have been in all this duty. Now you can get out of the duty. And what happens is in the olden days, we got a bit older and then we let go of our children. They got into life. Then we slowly detach. And then we say, look, Baba, I know you have some problem to our son and daughter and everything. But you know what? Time has come. You need to handle it. I can pray for you, but I'm not going to be, because they're going to, otherwise what we will go back into our 30s and 40s to be with them. Right? So that's what it is. Okay. Okay. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu